and welcome to Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Daniel Pineda. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas from the Arlington Weekly News. We have a great program this week. We have our news stories, community bulletin board, and 55 plus news. But first, a social media reminder. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also on Facebook and WERA 96.7 FM. And now on to our first news story for this week. The Virginia Department of Health page provided the following data. For the Arlington District, as of December 13th, 2022, reported cases over all time, 61,294. This is 407 more all-time reported cases than last week's total of 60,887. As for vaccinations, the VDH site shows that 206,057 people over the age of 5 have received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine as of December 13th. That is an increase of 10 over the previous week's 206,047 vaccinations. Based on this data, more people are getting sick than are getting vaccinated. As noted on previous shows, the Arlington County Public Health Division's COVID-19 vaccination clinic permanently closed on Saturday, December 17th, 2022. Visit vaccines.gov for appointments through pharmacies and other medical providers in and around Arlington County. Also, the Arlington Mill Community Center Curative COVID-19 testing kiosk will close on December 24th, 2022. You can find testing locations convenient to you by visiting VDH's test site locator. Get tested if you have symptoms of COVID-19 before large gatherings and after spending time in a crowd. Learn more about the county's COVID-19 response at arlingtonva.us/COVID-19. We received the following announcement from the Arlington County government. The Arlington County Police Department is partnering with the U.S. Department of Transportation's National Highway Traffic Safety Administration during the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign to remind motorists it is always the season to protect yourself and others from the dangers of drunk driving. The annual campaign aims to drastically reduce drunk driving on our nation's roadways through a two-pronged approach of education and enforcement. From now until January 1st, 2023, motorists nationwide can expect to see increased messaging about the dangers of driving under the influence, coupled with increased saturation patrols to identify and apprehend impaired drivers. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 11,654 people were killed in drunk driving collisions in 2020 throughout the United States, accounting for approximately 1/3 of traffic fatalities. That is why county police are working with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to remind drivers that drunk driving is not only illegal, but also a matter of life and death. As we enter this holiday season where celebrations often include alcohol, remember, drive sober or get pulled over today and every day. The Arlington County Police Department encourages you to follow these tips to keep the holiday safe and joyous. Remember that it is never okay to drink and drive, even if you've only had one alcoholic beverage. Designate a sober driver or plan to use public transportation or a ride-sharing service to get home safely. The Washington Regional Alcohol Program's 2022 Holiday Sober Ride Program is offering free rides home in partnership with Lyft from now until Sunday, January 1st, 2023. Nightly between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. If you see a suspected impaired driver on the roadway, report to your local law enforcement. To report a suspected impaired driver in Arlington County, call the Emergency Communication Center at 703-558-2222 or 911 in an emergency. Have a friend who is about to drink and drive. Take the keys away and make arrangements to get your friend home safely.
Christmas tree collection will take place from January 2nd through January 13th, 2023. Discarded trees should be placed at the curb no later than 6 o'clock a.m. on regular trash collection days. All decorations, nails, and stands must be removed, and trees should not be placed in plastic bags. Also, here is a reminder about snow in Arlington. First of all, it's worth noting that Arlington's snow removal trucks only plow Arlington streets when there is an accumulation of 2 inches or more. Plowing anything less would damage road surfaces and equipment. Arlington snow operations involve multiple departments as well as external partners, making for a force of several hundred people working in shifts to maintain core services. A winter weather alert for snow, ice, or freezing rain sets crews in motion according to an established set of pre-treatment and removal phases. The county is responsible for clearing 1,059 miles of roads, 350 bus shelters and stops, 35 miles of sidewalks in shared public areas, 21 bridges and overpasses, 10 miles of trails, and 7.4 miles of protected bike lanes. Arlington follows Virginia's salt management strategy to minimize the effects of brine and salt on the region's watershed. Arlington also treats high-volume trails with the same priority and response time as primary arterial streets. As for residents, the county's snow removal ordinance requires all property owners to clear snow and ice from public sidewalks adjacent to their property within 24 hours after the end of the storm for snowfalls of less than 6 inches, or 36 hours for snowfalls greater than 6 inches. There are also other ways to help. Coordinate with neighbors to park cars on one side of the street where feasible, and avoid on-street parking on narrow roads so plow operators can efficiently clear a wider span of roadway. Do not park head-in on cul-de-sacs, which allows plows more room to maneuver. Clear sidewalks, fire hydrants, and storm drains, tossing snow towards buildings and away from the street. However, wait for plows to come before clearing snow from the front of driveways to minimize the amount pushed back by plows. Stay home or use mass transit to reduce the number of potentially stranded vehicles. Apply only the recommended minimum of chemical de-icers on sidewalks and driveways. Stay connected through the county's snow and ice page and social media platforms for updates on snow phases, transportation, trash collection, and other important notifications. Finally in the news, here is a missing middle update. It was shortly after midnight on Thursday, December 15th, when the Planning Commission voted 7-2 to recommend that the County Board advertise hearings on a series of proposed changes to the county's zoning code, which would allow 2 to 8 unit buildings in Arlington's lowest density neighborhoods. That proposal, which would allow by right development of missing middle housing in single-family home neighborhoods, will now go to the Arlington County Board for a first review. The County Board is expected to deliberate the request to advertise hearings as early as its meeting on January 21st. The Board may ultimately approve the plan. The proposal would then return to the Planning Commission and the County Board for a final vote sometime in spring 2023. At the meeting, a number of recommended changes to the draft were offered by members of the planning body. A suggestion for a 4-unit cap on missing middle-type buildings, also known as expanded housing option dwellings, failed. Commissioner Stephen Hughes said that rational reasons do exist for capping density at 4, and expressed a desire to explore those after 3 months. Motions to stave off gentrification put forward by Commissioner Tenley Peterson passed unanimously. Certain tools can be used by homeowners to redevelop their properties instead of selling them to developers. In addition, the Community Land Trust could be a way for the county to redevelop vulnerable properties as more affordable missing middle housing. Meanwhile, Commissioner Elizabeth Guerin added, "We're already far short of the county goal of 40% tree coverage. At the same time, nature makes us happier, healthier, and more prosperous. I am in favor of anything that lets us get more housing and more trees. I don't like this false dichotomy we put ourselves in where it's one or the other." Arlingtonians for Upzoning Transparency, a group formed to oppose the missing middle proposal, is planning to publicly express their sentiments at a reality check rally to be held at a local elementary school on Sunday, January 8th. That's enough news for this week. Now it's time for Community Bulletin Board, or CBB.
Hi, and welcome to CBB. Our first CBB event is an invasive plant removal at Brandymore Castle. It's a chance to join volunteers in protecting the local environment from invasive plants. If you have your own garden gloves and tools, please bring them along. If not, they will be provided for you. Training and additional tools will also be provided. Be sure to come dressed for work. Wear long pants, long sleeves, and perhaps a hat. You may also want to bring along a water bottle. Training will be provided. These events are for volunteers aged 9 to adult. If you're under 18 years old, a parent or guardian will have to sign your volunteer sign-in sheet before you can participate. Brandymore Castle is interesting to visit in its own right. It's a natural formation along the side of the Washington and Old Dominion Bike Trail. It was first identified and named by an early explorer named George Harrison in the 1700s. He based the name on the fact that the hill rises dramatically and is partly surrounded by a narrow waterway resembling a castle's moat. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. For more information, call Jennifer Souls at 703-228-1862. That's on Wednesday, December 28th from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock a.m. Meet at the basketball court at 1730 North Roosevelt Street. Our next event is for adults. It's called Winter Bird Walk for Beginners. Winter birding is a great time to get started in your bird watching journey. Bring your own binoculars or borrow a set. Then follow the lead of an experienced naturalist as you stroll through the park. Registration is required. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. For more information, call Rita Peralta at 703-228-6535. That's on Friday, December 30th from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. at Long Branch Nature Center, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. Our next event is for families. It's called Fort C.F. Smith Park Walking Tour. Fort C.F. Smith was one of the last Union forts built to protect Washington during the Civil War. You'll learn about the park's history, the role of the fort, and the soldiers stationed there during the Civil War. Registration is required. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. For more information, call John McNair at 703-228-4775. That's on Friday, December 30th from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m. at Fort C.F. Smith Park, 2411 24th Street North. Our final CBB event is for families with young kids, including elementary schoolers. It comes through the Arlington Public Library, and it's called Noon Year's Eve. Children of all ages and an accompanying adult are invited to ring in the noon year with a New Year's Eve themed story time, festive crafts, and a photo booth. Everyone will count down to 12 o'clock noon with a balloon drop followed by sparkling cider and cookies. For the current policies on masking, see the library operations update. For more information, call 703-228-5946. That's on Saturday, December 31st from 11:15 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. in the children's area at Central Library, 1015 North Quincy Street. Now it's time for 55 Plus News.
Howdy, and welcome to 55 Plus News. Our first event is, you guessed it, another 55 Plus walk. Stay active with friendly walking companions. You'll explore nearby trails and neighborhoods in a safe, socially distant manner. Destinations may be changed or excursions canceled for inclement weather. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. You'll need to get the exact meetup location, but it'll be in the Falls Church W&OD neighborhood. The activity number is 912-106-03, and that's on Wednesday, December 28th from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Our next event is a local history discussion. Have fun recollecting and learning about Arlington's rich past. For designated monthly topics, check the Lubber Run Center newsletter. The group meets on the fourth Wednesday of each month. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 912-402-07. That's on Wednesday, December 28th from 1:30 to 2:45 p.m. at Lubber Run Community Center, 300 North Park Drive. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Our next event features the Sunshine Gang. They're a band who invite you to bring your instrument and musical talents and join in the fun. Share your passion with others by playing rock and popular selections in a low-key, music-loving atmosphere. This is a drop-in event, which means you don't gotta register. Just drop in. That's on Friday, December 30th from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. at Walter Reed Community Center, 2909 16th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Our next event is an installment of Movies at Aurora Hills. It's a chance to enjoy classic or modern movies with fellow 55 plus friends. This time the movie is The Queen from 2006. Now, The Queen is a British biographical drama film that depicts the events following the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, in 1997, and how Queen Elizabeth tried to cope. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 912-804-02, and that's on Friday, December 30th from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. at Aurora Hills Community Center, 735 18th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required.
For this holiday program, I thought it might be fun to take a look back at some excerpts from earlier holiday shows.
I've been noticing some things, me and, the elves back at the North Pole, mind you. We've been noticing that, well, as you know, Craig, gifts can be expensive.
Just
and
a little.
that men are messy. Even your dear Mr. Claus is messy.
No, really?
He is. So I have brought along some things tonight, well, to help all the women folks. So even though you're a nice, handsome man there, Mr. Craig,
Thank you, Mrs. Claus.
you can help us out tonight. So this is things that's totally inexpensive that you can, I think the word you yuppies like to use is repurpose,
That's it.
refurbish. Is that the buzzword you guys like to use, I believe? So, yes.
Dual use technology.
There you go. Whatever he just said. I don't know. All right. So let's get down to business. Well, first of all, you got your beer bottles.
Yay.
Which, of course, you find.
Anything in
Oh,
that?
I hope you don't indulge too much.
Anything in it? Or it
No,
looks like
there's
it's
nothing in it.
Okay, too bad.
I cleaned that out from Mr. Santa Claus. Because sometimes he gets a little guggly and the bubbly. So we got to, could be why he's a little jiggly and the wiggly, too. But you can repurpose these, and you can make them into lovely toilet paper cozies. These fit right on there. You can just sit them right by your toilet. Now, if you wanted to make them Christmassy, you could just put a Christmas tree skirt right on around there. It'd be lovely, don't you think?
I've never seen that before. That's
There
pretty
you go.
handy. I
Something
like it.
interesting for you, okay? So there's your toilet covers there. Now, also, something I think there's a site called, I don't know, Pinterest or something that you yuppies also like to use. And what you do with Pinterest that I have noticed, and men like to leave their peanut shells lying all over the floor. I don't know why. So, you take these peanuts and you're going to paint them white, okay? So I'll give you some white peanuts.
White peanuts.
And you can take these white
I'm
peanuts.
dreaming of a white
Yes, so what you're going to be busy doing
peanut.
over there is you're going to draw me a snowman on that peanut. Can you handle that?
I'll try.
You can do that.
What, a snowman on the peanut.
Yes, you're going to
You
try
gotta be a
to-
little snowman.
A little, itty
Just a
bitty
little
snowman,
snowman.
yes.
Okay.
And then you can make it into lovely little ornaments, or you can sit it around, or hey,
Do I
you
start
can
now?
add it to your nativity. Maybe it was cold that winter day, and a little snowman came to visit baby Jesus. You never know. But probably not, since they was back into desert times, don't you think? But who knows? Maybe you can pretend. Okay. Now, besides that, there is the problem of beer caps as well. They're everywhere all over the floor.
Right.
Because,
No,
Mr. Claus, he likes to sit in his easy chair like that,
I recycle mine.
drink his beer. Well, that's good for you.
I recycle my beer caps.
You do. Very good. And pop those things off, and next thing you know, they're all over Mrs. Claus's floor. So what you're going to do also is paint them white, just like you did the peanut.
Yeah.
Now, you say you're supposed to hot glue them, but, I don't really like to use hot glue. So you could just, scotch tape them together, whatever, duct tape, and you can also make yourself another little snowman.
All right.
Pinterest seems to really like the snowman right now. I don't know. That seems to be very big with the young folks.
It's big this time of year.
That looks more
You
like
gotta
a
have snow
ghost than a
first, but, you know,
snowman,
well, we have
I
a little
must
snow.
say. I think your peanut is haunted. Jingle bells. We can handle that one. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Well, our thanks to Mrs. Claus, a.k.a. Amy Sue, who was a little under the weather tonight. Otherwise, she would have been here. And thanks to all of you for watching.
Mary.
That's pretty much our show for this week, our Christmas extravaganza for 2018. We hope you enjoyed it.
Let it
And now, well, we got to get back to work. If you have any more trouble with anything, just give us a call. I like that. Oh, the weather outside is frightful. Oh, Mr. K. Oh, Mr.
Never mind, Cratchit. Never
Mr.
mind.
Scrooge.
Never mind. I've learned
Cratchit.
my lesson.
Merry Christmas, darling.
Now I finally understand that this is supposed to be a season of celebration, whether you choose Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, the solstice, Wiki Wacky Woo, or anything else. Now, let's party!
Party!
Whoa!
Join us next
Have
year.
some
Happy
fun!
holidays, everyone. Join us next year for another edition of Don Hampton's Arlington Weekly News. Thank you for watching. Have a safe, happy holidays. Bye-bye.
And that concludes our program for this week. We will be back next week with more news from Arlington. Meanwhile, be careful, be safe, and be well.